And this right here, Bentley, is why some relationships can never be repaired while other ones can. When you have a parent who's abusive and never stops abusing, never validates, never takes ownership, never stands up and does the right thing, has spent a lifetime ruining the reputation of their own child, when those are the things that are occurring, there's no going back from that, because that parent doesn't have anybody else's best interest at heart but their own, and they are an abuser. As opposed to the parent who has tried to lift their child up and raise them well and fill their cup with love, but ends up estranged because they didn't break away from the narcissistic family system, and their children were raised within that toxicity and were leveraged and triangulated and all those things, plus other things that we do as parents. I'm one of them that pass down our trauma, because when we had our children, when I had my children, I didn't go to therapy until my eldest daughter was 9 years old, and I had her at 17. I had to do a lot of work, I had to own the things that I did wrong, and I had no problem doing that, because I rather have a relationship with my children and own what I did wrong than try to be right, which is what narcissistic people do. They just want to be right, they want to be in control, and they don't care about anybody else's feelings. It's all about them. When you're a parent who actually wants to repair a relationship with a child, you don't actually say things like, I don't know where I went wrong, because we know. I knew exactly where I went wrong. And I'm sure there's some things that I'm unaware of that my children will continue to bring up over the years, not in a, they want to hold me into the flames sort of way, but in a, we're going to have resolution about things that are ongoing, because just like me, they will have memories as they get older and start processing things that they might need to have me help them address. And I will, because that's what being a parent is. Modeling accountability and being accountable. It isn't my children's job to form a relationship with me. It's my job to form a relationship with them. Whereas when you're dealing with someone who's narcissistic, who's playing the victim, oh, I sent them all these gifts and I don't know why they're not calling me back, and all of this kind of stuff, and they're love bombing and they're crossing boundaries, and then they're saying there's something wrong with you, and the whole script, it's exactly the same. They all do the same thing. When you're dealing with somebody like that, the only interest they have in mind is their own. And that's why so many of us end up no contact. It isn't even about the childhood abuse at some point, although that's a factor. It's more about the adult trauma that continues on, because they don't change their behavior, because they don't respect boundaries, and because, again, they just don't care about anyone else but themselves.